Over the past couple of weeks, the WWE, to me, had done a really, really good job of building towards Maddox Slam, or some of you may call it foolishly Summerslam. Doesn't matter what you call it. But this show had a lot going for it on paper. And then you throw in all the positive press they got from Fred Rosser, a.k.a. Darren Young, announcing to the world that he's gay earlier this week. SummerSlam, Maddox Slam, whatever you want to call it, 2013, had the potential to really be a big-time show for the WWE. And it was up to the company to put on a good show tonight and not disappoint. Sometimes I throw around praise like manhole covers. The bottom line is this is one of the better pay-per-views I've watched from the WWE over the past 5-6 years. This is one of those rare pay-per-views that I get that actually energizes me a little bit as a wrestling fan, exhilarates me a little bit as a wrestling fan. This was outstanding. Was it perfect? No. There are a couple of things I could have done without, but those things ended up being so small in the grand scheme of things, it really didn't matter. What a joy it was to watch this show for 3 hours from beginning all the way to the end. So let's talk about it. Two matches had me most fired up for this pay-per-view. And one of them was Cody Rhodes versus Damian Sandow. I love these mid-card feuds that aren't for a title. It's just a personal issue. You develop the story, and then it comes to a head at a pay-per-view. Gee, imagine that. Remember when you used to do that all the time, WWE? You give us something great like this, Rhodes and Sandow. Now, I would have liked to have seen this match go a few more minutes. I think with all the setting up of the Ring of Fire and the other crap they were doing at the beginning of the show, they had to condense some things and trim the fat off of some stuff to fit everything in on the show. So I think this match may have gotten cut a couple of minutes. I'll deal with it. You know, Sandow's the Money in the Bank winner, and he's a heel. So I expected a mustacheless Cody Rhodes to win as a babyface. I hope this isn't the end of this program. I hope this isn't the end of their business together, because I think they could do some more stuff with this. Maybe at Night of Champions, even put the Money in the Bank briefcase on the line. Now, that would be something that would get me even more eager to see what will come at Night of Champions. I was a little bit surprised, yes, to see them start off with the Ring of Fire match with Kane and Bray Wyatt, but I understand it takes a while to set that up, and then it takes a while to take it down. So they wanted to start the show off with something hot, both figuratively and literally, and, you know, get it out of the way. And that's what they did here. Was this match a great masterpiece? No, these type of matches aren't designed to be. These are the type of matches that should follow that KISS formula. Keep it simple, stupid. I was a little surprised that it took the guys so long to get to the point where they realized that you could just smother it with some type of covering and be able to get in there. Whatever the case might be. The bottom line is Bray Wyatt gets a signature pay-per-view over an Attitude Era star, a former world champion, at a Big Four pay-per-view. These are the type of things when you bring in a new character and you're trying to give them a push. These are the type of things that you do. I don't care if it came because of the help of Rowan and Harper, whatever. The bottom line is it goes down in the record books as Bray Wyatt beat Kane in a Ring of Fire match at a Big Four pay-per-view. ADR, I don't know what you did, man, but you got fucked up in the face. As I'm watching the World Heavyweight Championship match, I'm just sitting there and like laughing at ADR the entire time. So this match, in its own way, gave me an incredible level of amusement that I'm very thankful for. Is this match necessarily my cup of tea? No, it really wasn't. I thought, frankly, the story wasn't there enough. They tried to touch on it during the match, talking about the stuff going back to 2011, whatever, Christian beating him a couple of times this year, what have you. But there were too many false finishes in this match, too many near falls in this match for me. This match is not personally my cup of tea, but it gets a passing grade. If for no other reason, I got to sit there and look at Hamburger Face ADR. And his promo afterwards was pretty good too. Hell yeah. I am no fan of that Total Divas show. I refuse to watch it. And I really get annoyed by the Bella Twins. However, the match between Brie and Natalya, I thought these girls worked hard and did the best they could to try and put on a good Divas match right there in the middle of the show. But I want to call out the people in LA. This whole crap of chanting for JBL and Michael Cole and Jerry, and we want Sable. Shut the fuck up, you disrespectful little pricks. I could see when you were doing it a few months back during certain matches. I get that. But to sit there and do that here with Brie and Natalya, it's a good thing that they're featuring more women. It's a good thing that these women are getting a chance to get a pay-per-view payout and a Big Four pay-per-view payout. It's a good thing for the WWE and the wrestling business as a whole that they've got a show on cable television on E that is doing at least an okay rating, since they can never get their damn network off the ground. Why would you sit there and chant all this crap? It wasn't even humorous this time. It just made you look like morons. I give credit to Brie and Natalya. They did the best that they could considering the douchebags in the crowd there in LA, or the ones that were at least chanting during that match. It's not funny this time. It was a few months ago. Now you're just lame. I talked about in my Maddox Slam preview that styles make fights a lot of times. And you look at the Best versus the Beast, CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar, and you have a definite contrast in styles, just like you did in the WWE Championship match. You've got Punk, the smaller guy, who's more about skill and will and speed and quickness, versus Brock Lesnar, who's about size and strength and athleticism and sheer power and toughness himself in his own way. So, it makes for an interesting powder keg when you're putting together a match. Now, as far as this match, I'll put it this way. It kind of depends on your perspective. If you try to think about this match from a logic standpoint, you're kind of like, there were moments where this match was kind of stupid. Once CM Punk got the advantage the first time, wouldn't you think when you're facing a guy that's a couple inches taller and, many, many pounds bigger, that the first chance you got in a no DQ match, you would sit there and, try and get a weapon and end it as quickly as possible? 2. Why wasn't Heyman more involved? It was a no DQ match. Couldn't you have had Axel come out? Couldn't you have had Heyman and have it be a 3-on-1 for the entire match? Or 3, even though Lesnar gets the victory here and that's all glorious and great, why did a guy like Brock Lesnar, a former world champion, a former UFC champion, a former amateur wrestling heavyweight champion, why would he need so much help from Paul Heyman to beat a guy like CM Punk? So if you think about this match from those logical standpoints, this might not have been that good of a match. If you're able to shut some of that off, this was a pretty good match. You got to give Brock Lesnar credit. He's had some good matches since he's come back to the WWE. He's had some good dance partners in the ring with him, that's for sure. But you still have to go out there and execute, and you still have to do a good job with what you need to do. And this was a really good match. Now, the ultimate question is, was this Brock Lesnar's best match since he's come back to WWE? Or was that maybe Cena back at Extreme Rules 2012? I don't know. But this match here, if nothing else, is a perfect example of how sometimes you are better off for losing. Look at the reaction that CM Punk got after he lost. It established that he was legit, he was tough, he was a badass, he could take a shit kicking and keep on ticking and provide some own whipping of his own. So CM Punk is better off for losing this match. He really is. Listen to the reaction he got after the match was over and he lost. This is what an old school feeling match should feel like, is that the face gives you those hope spots and those hope moments where you think they can win. You leave thinking they should have won, yet the heel's the one that ends up somehow, some way sliding out with the victory. This was well done by the WWE if you shut off some of those other logic things. This pay-per-view had what you classify as 4 more important matches. Ring of Fire match, World Heavyweight Championship, Best versus the Beast, and then the WWE Championship. Give WWE credit. They did a really good job on this show of spacing out those important matches. You had 7 matches, so you had important match, less important. Important, less important. Important, less important, important. Well done by the WWE. A basic fundamental of card structuring. This was good. Very good. Now, as far as the mixed tag, Dolph and Caitlyn versus AJ and Big E, hey, it is what it is. Dolph Ziggler gets a victory at a Big Four pay-per-view. Langston He's showing that he's improving, even though I still think his finisher is stupid. It's okay. You know, this type of match here is not designed to be anything great. And these guys didn't go out there and try and do anything that they're not supposed to do. All they did was they were able to transition the crowd from the Best versus the Beast no DQ match to the WWE Championship. And this match did exactly that. It was a good space filler. So now we get to the match that everybody, at least in the internet world, was waiting for. The WWE Championship, John Cena and Daniel Bryan. You know, again, I talked about in the Best versus the Beast match that styles make fights. And this is another example here of the styles and the contrasting styles, in this case, making the match. John Cena, Daniel Bryan. Was this John Cena's best match ever? No. Was this Daniel Bryan's best match ever? Oh, hell no. Was this a match that was worthy of a main event spot at a Big Four pay-per-view, in particular, Maddox Slam / Summerslam, whatever you want to call it? Yes, it was. And that's what matters most. This was still a very, very good match. It's one of these instances where if you could get Cena to slow down and he's in the ring with somebody else that could be a very good ring general, you can pull a really good match out of John Cena. He's not a total nincompoop in the ring. It's just sometimes he is, and sometimes his storytelling and his piecing together of a match is complete shit. But you didn't really see that here. Like I said, this isn't Daniel Bryan's best work, but it was really, really good work nonetheless. A really good quality Big Four main event WWE Championship match. And that's all you can ask for. And it delivered just that. Now, as far as the finish, I could go off on a tirade talking about how this was chicken shit, cowardly booking by the WWE and nonsensical, especially if John Cena is going to be out for a little period of time with his bum flipper, the elbow, especially when that would be the arm that Daniel Bryan would put into a bell lock, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? I mean, couldn't you come up with a way, you know, the left arm, to sit there and say that Daniel Bryan's the one that put John Cena ultimately out of action for a few months? Just the finish of John Cena, Daniel Bryan was a little awkward to me. A little awkward, just because you're not used to Daniel Bryan winning a lot of matches via pinfall. It just was kind of strange, and it kind of came out of nowhere. It almost felt anticlimactic, but the reaction ultimately from the people was what you would expect. Daniel Bryan's very hot. He had a lot of momentum going. The decision to have him at least beat John Cena in some way, shape, or form was the right decision. It needed to happen. It had to happen. Go ahead, Smokey, and take a bow. I'm about to go to sleep, but two things. Number one, I watched Mark Henry on the pre-show. He was looking beastly. Yeah, that dude that was eating them Doritos got that contest. Yeah, that splash from Mark Henry was no fucking joke, was it? Yeah, exactly. The other thing I want to talk about right quick, where the fuck that dog at, is I told y'all I had you. Daniel Bryan beat John Cena for the WWE Championship, didn't he, motherfuckers? Yeah, I didn't talk about what was going to happen after that. That's not my concern. Why did Daniel Bryan beat John Cena? Because that's what he do. That's what he do. Daniel goddamn Bryan, you damn right. There, I hope you're happy. Smokey got you what you wanted. And all he guaranteed you, with his support, of course, was that Daniel Bryan was going to beat John Cena for the WWE Championship. Stuff he said about tapping. He helped make that happen. And you know he did. You know he did. As soon as Smokey got on the bandwagon, you notice how the whole odds in London and in England, where everybody likes to fucking gamble, you notice how much the odds shifted almost instantly? They're like, Smokey's on Daniel Bryan's side. Here we fucking go. Absolutely. A cat makes shit happen. Anything that happens after that, that's not his ass, that's yours. Now, I've been hearing voices in my head for a while. They've been talking to me, and now I understand that I've had it all wrong all along. All of you out there that are watching this were probably sitting there and thinking to yourself, God, this is great. Daniel Bryan is the WWE champion. Oh my God, the best motherfucking wrestler in the world is the #1 champion for the #1 wrestling company in the world. Oh my God. You should have known that they weren't having this big, long, prolonged celebration just to give you those warm and fuzzies in your short pants. Randall Keith Orton had to get his baby oil on. That takes time, baby. It was showtime. It was like when Triple H delivered that pedigree, and I was waiting for him to do it. I was eager for him to do it. I was damn near dying for him to do it. I was praying to him. I was praising him. I said, pedigree this motherfucker with the beard into that mat like he's never done it before. And by God, he did it. And then that moment of glory happened where Mr. RKO himself, Randall Keith Orton, took advantage of his opportunity. Just casually laid on Daniel Bryan for the 1, 2, 3. You just knew that eventually all was going to be right with the world again. And the time has come for me to expand my horizons, for the Schleg Daddy to undergo an evolution, if you will, to join the club, the Breakfast Club. Fuck the CM Punks, fuck the Daniel Bryan, fuck this guy, and fuck that guy. It's always been about John Cena and Triple H and Randall Keith Orton. Because they matter. Because they're a big deal, damn it. And I'm tired for rooting for all these midgets and all these ham and eggers. I want to get behind real stars. I want to get behind main eventers. I want to cheer for a guy that has 5 moves of doom like John Cena. I want to sit there and cheer for a guy who's God. I want to cheer for ring boners and construction worker beards and baby oil and sleeve tattoos and awesome poses. And the time has finally come to do that. Randall Keith Orton will make a great WWE champion once again. And Daniel Bryan, no offense, but you're just a placeholder until John Cena comes back. And then it'll be Randy Orton versus John Cena for the WWE Championship. Now that's something that all of us can yerk one off to. What a show. What a show.